Hi guys, so today we are doing a full renovation on this lawn which we killed off a few weeks ago. Enjoy the footage and please smash the like button and click on the subscribe button. Let's crack on. So you can see here, first thing I'm doing is running over the lawn with the scarifier. Now inside there's a shaft that goes from left to right, and there are blades on that shaft that spin round really fast, and they rake the ground. They cut into the ground and they pull out thatch. They also pull out dead organic matter. Anything that's in there, nestled in and amongst the blades of grass, will get ripped out. So why would we scarify a lawn? Well, you should scarify your lawn every single year. If you scarify, what you're doing is you're keeping that build-up of thatch down to a minimum. If you let that build-up of thatch build up, what's going to happen is that's going to slow down the rate of air, rain and nutrients that need to get down to the root zone. Now in this case, we killed the lawn off about 3 weeks before this was done. So we're not scarifying just to improve the lawn that's there. We're actually scarifying really heavily and getting out as much matter as possible. And we're doing this because we are creating a brand new lawn. So each time you scarify, you need to clear off the thatch, the matter, the dead material that you've created. Because it's a small lawn, I'm raking it all into the middle, and we're going to clear this off. Now ordinarily, the waste, we try and get some in the customer's garden bin if they've got one, and if there's room. But if not, we either use the white builder's bags, the ton bags, or we use bin liners. Now on this occasion I had assumed the customer had a garden bin, so I didn't bring any of the white builder's bags with me. So we were just left to bag them up, which is fine. Now here you can see I'm using a Wolf Garten hand scarifying rake. These are essentially scarifying the lawn, but by hand. You need to buy the head and you need to buy the handle. The heads are between £20–25, and the handle, if you go for the wooden handle, it's around 20. The good thing is they have a 10-year warranty, and they really are great bits of kit. If you haven't got a big lawn, I recommend you get one of these and you hand rake your lawn every spring and every autumn, just to remove some of the debris from out of the lawn. Now when you do it, it won't be anything as heavy as this, it'll just be a light rake. You're just clawing out some of that matter. So again, we're clearing this off, and we'll get this bagged up and removed. So here I'm just bringing a few more supplies round. Bit of compost, and that is my drop spreader, and a bit more compost there. They're going to be used at the end. So now we've taken some of the thatch out, I can see the edges a lot more clearly. It was hard to see the edges properly before we scarified. I'm doing this because I want it nice and neat. The customer is not going to be mowing the grass for at least 4 weeks once the seeds come through. We need to give it time to get a little bit more established. So we're getting it as neat as we can, just taking off that dead grass that's poking up off of the lawn and over the edge of the driveway. And as always, I try and keep things as clean as possible all the time. So whenever I get anything onto paths, I try and blow it back on the lawn so it's nice and clean. You're not standing on it and walking it around to other areas and just making a mess. This is more important when it's really muddy. So we've cleared off, and now we're doing the scarifying another time, and you can still see a lot more material coming out. So you have to be prepared. If you are doing a full renovation like this from scratch on a bare piece of land or from a lawn that you've killed off, we use Roundup to kill it off, by the way. It degrades in the ground, and then 2 weeks later it's fine to reseed. So you can see again how much material actually comes off. Each time you go over, you get more and more and more. But as you get closer to the soil, things get a little bit dustier, and then you reach a point where it's mostly soil, and that is a good point because you need the seeds to be pressed into the soil. So we had a little inspection there. We're just going to go over it once more. There's still a little bit more there in the middle. You can see the colour. So we did that, we cleared it off, and then we're giving it a good mow to pick up any remaining bits of debris. So look at the dust. So now we're on to hollow tine aeration. Essentially, putting holes in your ground. Years ago, your grandparents and your parents would use a garden fork, and it's exactly the same. Creating holes in the ground. It just improves drainage. Now there's two forms of aeration. There are solid tine aeration and hollow tine aeration. Solid tine is a solid piece of material or metal being pushed into the ground. Hollow tine is a hollow piece of metal or material pushed into the ground, and then also removing the core of soil that is within the holes. That actually relieves compaction as well as improving drainage. And you can put stuff into the holes as well to improve what is in the ground. So if it's just sandy soil, you can get some nice topsoil down into the ground to improve what's there. So here I'm just going around the edges with a manual version of an aerator. This one is from the J&J store on Facebook. Comes highly recommended. There's a few areas around the edge where the machine couldn't get, so here I'm just doing it by hand. So always clear up as you go. Sometimes you don't need to clear the cores up. If it's all sandy, it will just break down when you finish off at the end, which you'll see shortly when we use the roller. It's quite warm today. So next, I'm just going to put a light dusting of fertiliser on. It's a balanced fertiliser. It's not too heavy in nitrogen, which would cause a rapid spurt of growth. So now we're seeding, and I've just taken some seed and used the little hand spreader there to put it into the drop spreader. Now I'm squeezing the trigger with my right hand, which opens the holes at the bottom of the drop spreader, and the seeds drop out the bottom at the predetermined rate. You can make the size of holes bigger or smaller to suit your needs, but I literally just put the setting on the highest setting there is, and then I still have to go over the lawn a couple of times. So once I'm happy I've got a really good even coverage over the whole of the lawn and there's no gaps or no thinner areas, then I want to cover the seeds, and I'm using compost. You can also use topsoil. I've done both and they work perfectly fine. This is a Landzie spreader, and they make life so much easier. There are cheaper versions of the Landzie spreader, made in Germany I do believe. I cannot vouch for how good they are. I've only ever used this, and it's gone through one season already last year and it's worked flawlessly. So you put your compost in and you push it across and it instantly puts compost, soil, whatever onto your lawn. So you're covering the seeds. Some of the dressing will go down the ground and it will go into the holes. So what you're doing is you're getting some good organic material into the ground, and that will eventually encourage earthworm activity, which creates a better quality soil. What a fantastic bit of kit. Just makes life so much easier. So at this point the customer's out talking away and just discussing a number of things. So I'm just using up a few bits more top dressing, compost, just in a few areas which, you know, didn't get covered well enough. So the final step is with a roller. You can squash it in with your feet, but a roller helps so much. It is pushing everything down. It is firming what you've done down into the soil. So seeds are touching soil. We need seeds to touch soil to get a better germination rate. If you scatter seeds on the top, there's a chance they're not all going to take. So a quick spray there by Emerald Green helps with germination. It has a number of other benefits as well, and it will soon be available for purchase, but not as of the time of making this video. Right, you'll need to do this 3 times a day, just for 2 or 3 minutes, just to keep it damp until it's all come through, so around 3 to 4 weeks, and then you can start easing back a little bit then, you know, just a couple of times a week.
Not do it when it rains.
No, no, you'll be alright.
See what I've got, I mean, if it's not going to take a long time to do, you're just going to damp it.
Yeah. Don't get your sprinkler on it.
No, that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'll not get sprinkler that.
Not yet. After 4 weeks you can get sprinkler on it.
Yeah.
But you tend to find puddles form around them, so it'll lift the seeds up and they'll float around. And then they'll move out of place and, you know.
So you're better off just damping it.
Yeah. I mean, this is a nice mix, this. Good setting.